and well-being practice. That pretty sums it up. We're dealing with bringing the mind and body together, make them work more efficiently in sync. We want to improve our health, and we definitely want to promote our well-being. The practice of Tai Chi involves many slow, flowing movements. These movements combine meditation, movement, and breathing. I actually don't care when you breathe or what pattern or what rhythm you use to your breath. All I care about is that you do please breathe at all times. Tai Chi itself is a multi-sensory experience that is so much more than just moving the limbs in slow rhythm, although that is where we start. The screen says that's a great place to start. It's where you have to start. You can't get into Tai Chi unless you start moving. So that's where we'll always start from. Now let's talk about that history a little bit. I promise it's not going to be that intensive. Tai Chi came into existence formally, or at least it was documented around the 13th century. It was based on the philosophy that yin and yang balance affects all aspects of life. Now, yin and yang are two forces, opposite forces, soft and hard, fast and slow, male and female, top and bottom, left, right, back, front. Everything in the universe is divided into two forces that we call yin and yang. And the balance of these forces affects all all levels of quality of our life. Oh, welcome. Some more people are popping in. Welcome to becoming a Zoomerino now that you're in the Zoom session. I'm going to have to write these words down as I make them up so I can remember them. Okay. Now, Tai Chi originally came from a practice called Qigong, Qigong, or Chikung. It's got multiple spellings. Qigong is a focused energy movements used as health healing practice. 2,000 or 3,000 years ago, people didn't know about medicine, science, didn't have doctors that really knew what they were doing. So people looked around and go, who's healthy? Who's living longest? Well, what are those people doing? And then they started copying what those people were doing. Eventually, that became a formal practice that became known as Qigong. Tai Chi has a great depth of knowledge and skill, but you don't have to know all that to get started. You don't have to know all that to reap the benefits. But it is easy to learn because we learn it in small pieces and we build, and it can become a lifetime journey. I will warn you, it's a little addictive, but it's one of those addictions that's really good for you. Initially, 700 years ago, it was developed. Tai Chi originally was developed as a meditation practice to prepare for martial arts practice. And boy, then it took on a life of its own when we as humans realized a meditation practice like Tai Chi has so many rewards of its own without even doing the martial arts. So the styles of Tai Chi are named after the various schools, but they all share the same basic principles. Tai Chi works to integrate the mind with the body. We may know this term in modern language as mindfulness. Now, mindfulness, the term didn't exist, back in the 13th century, but it doesn't matter. What they were doing was mindfulness. It's just in the 20th century, did we come up with a term for it? All the schools share the same principle of fluidity of movement. You want to use good body alignment, good posture and balance, and you want to move slowly. Move rather fluidly, as the screen says. It shares awareness of body. We promote the concept of body awareness of sensations, starting with the breath. As you practice your Tai Chi, one of the principles I promote with you is that you constantly breathe. Not only just breathe, but become aware of that breath. While you're moving, be aware of the breath. Be aware of the pattern you're using of the breath. And then as you get more experience with it, you start expanding that awareness into other sensations in the body. We promote all styles and schools share the same principle of mental concentration. You can't practice Tai Chi without being focused. That's a challenge and a great benefit, because the more you are focused, the more easily you become focused. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting up in years. I'm 70 years old. I need to do everything I can to stay sharp up here. You know, I don't want to face cognitive decline. The best way to keep that mind sharp, to keep that brain sharp, is to exercise it. And Tai Chi is a great cognitive exercise to help us stay sharp. All students are encouraged to develop a basic level of proficiency quickly. Basically learn part of it quickly. That could be as simple as one exercise, one form. That's all you need to learn to practice Tai Chi. You don't have to know 10 or 6 or 100. But after you learn one form or two forms, you start working, exercising with it, repeating it, so that over time you start adding layers of understanding of the Tai Chi. Tai Chi is a very deep practice. We move, that's one level. We move with the breath, that's another level. We move with body awareness is another level. All of these are the layers that we start building with Tai Chi. Eventually, you start getting down into that meditative sensations in the body, and you just keep going lower and lower in those layers. There's no end. We're humans. There's no end to how deep you can go in your own mind. So the key, though, is coming back to one move, one principle, until that move and that principle becomes part of who you are. When you start carrying those principles out into your everyday life, you start really reaping the rewards of Tai Chi. Now, this cute little symbol on the screen, the upper right-hand corner, is the yin yang symbol, but technically it is the symbol of Tai Chi. It just happens to represent yin and yang. Now, yin and yang represents balance. The important point in that symbol is, in all balance, things can be equal, but they're not perfect. In all balance, in this case, we have a little bit of white on one side, a little bit of black on the other, but notice there's a little bit of white in the black and a little bit of black in the white. Nothing is perfect, but we do work at bringing the forces into balance. I think I just covered that whole slide. The translation of the word Tai Chi means ultimate supreme, or supreme ultimate. I'm not sure how to handle that translation, so I went searching and found it also could be translated as being greatest, no end. That makes sense to me. I think Tai Chi is about the greatest practice we can do, and there's no end to it. You can never run out of depth in your Tai Chi, in your Tai